Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at a truly wild fusion of sources. We've got alchemical texts, deep geopolitical analysis, and some pretty esoteric theology.
And we're using them to build a framework for understanding global chaos. It all comes together under one, let's say, provocative concept: complacent war.
So the mission today is really to shift your perspective. We're asking you to start by not seeing yourself as just an individual.
Exactly. See yourself instead as a specialized single data sensor for the entire cosmos.
Okay, let's unpack this because the cosmology here is, well, it's everything. The sources start with what they call a holographic ontology.
Right, and the idea is that the universe isn't a collection of separate pieces, it's fundamentally unified.
I love the analogy they give. If you have a holographic film of an apple and you cut it in half, you don't get two halves.
You get two smaller, but still complete, apples. Separation is the grand illusion.
And this applies to divinity, too. All the gods, the Necharu, Kami, Aesir.
They're not separate beings. They're just distinct waves, resonating on the surface of the one holy soul. The substance is identical.
So if the universe is this infinite singularity, where do we fit in? The sources call us the digital pixel.
And they mean that literally. We are the finite sensor that the infinite Godhead created to experience things like cold, darkness, terror.
We're the sensory organ for the universe to feel contrast.
That's it. And to manage that input, the pixel has an architecture, calibration tools.
The zodiac is described as the psychological circuit board.
And the 7 chakras are the internal plumbing, regulating that energy flow.
But the system fractured. This is what the texts call the Great Contraction, a kind of spiritual freezing.
It's when rigid monotheism weaponized the masculine principle, the yang. And in doing so, it demonized the feminine, the yin, the flow. That's where the illness started.
And that separation leads right to the modern mechanism of control, the Hegelian trap.
Problem, reaction, solution.
Walk us through that cycle.
It's critical to get this. The elite, the cabal, they create the crisis. That's the problem.
And the public, traumatized, demands safety. That's the reaction.
And then the cabal swoops in with their predetermined expansion of power, the solution. The sources point to 9/11, leading to the Patriot Act as like the modern archetype of this loop.
Which brings us to today, November 2025. It's described as this clash of pure yang forces. You have the Caesar archetype, which they identify as Trump, versus the Titan, Musk.
And they have this temporary truce with oil interests like MBS. But behind them, the sources say, are the real orchestrators, the White Walker cabal.
Who are they?
The technocrats, the elite, who see humans only as assets on a spreadsheet. But the current chaos, this instability, they call it fractal recoil.
So the universe is self-correcting.
The system is wobbling under its own greed.
Okay, so with the system wobbling, the solution offered is complacent war. I have to ask, complacent sounds passive. Lazy, even.
And that's where we have to reclaim the word. Complacent comes from the Latin, complacere. It means thoroughly settled.
So combative stillness.
Or wu-wei. The absence of friction. The tactic is to refuse to play their game, to remove your pixel from their picture.
And the archetype for this is the iron constitution of the feminine.
Right. We look to Mary the Jewess, the first alchemist. Her invention, the bain-marie, the water bath. It applies gentle, constant heat.
So it's about holding the heat of all this suffering, this pressure, without burning, transmuting fear into power.
That is tactical spirituality. When the system offers you fear, the magus offers gnosis.
Observation without absorption.
Yes, you become the oracle of your own timeline. Ultimately, the kingdom of heaven isn't a place you go to, it's a frequency.
The frequency of being thoroughly settled.
Exactly.
So how do you tune into that frequency? The text mentioned reality transurfing. What's the practical application of that?
You have to consciously reduce the importance you give to the political chaos. Treat the news cycle like the weather. You observe it, you prepare, but you don't let it become your emotional reality.
You starve the pendulums, these energy structures of conflict, of your emotional fuel.
And you neutralize their power over you.
So the final challenge for you, the listener, isn't to fix the storm. It's to stand in the middle of it and reduce its importance until it collapses. Can you stand in the wind and remain the mountain?